Convos. Lua here with you real quick. This young man, his name is Kyle, and we're going to say Kyle B just because I don't want to mispronounce his last name. Guess where he was found? Hanging in a tree in Georgia. So this is my question to everybody who did all this groundbreaking, unknown, super technological sleuth digging, figuring out when Miss Guthrie went missing. I'm waiting to see what you guys do to figure out how he wound up in that tree. Besides just saying it seemed like there was no foul play involved. Can we get all those super crazy analysts that know everything, that can see if you breathe from 33 degrees from 5 miles away 10 years ago with new blood samples that we've never known that you can detect from when dinosaurs were born? Can we figure out what happened to Kyle?
In Atlanta, there is a story out. There's a young man that they found, unfortunately, hanging from a tree down in Marietta. And let's see here. They say Cobb County, which county I lived in for many years. The family of a man who was reported missing out of Atlanta says he was found dead in the Cobb County Park. Cobb County Police says official officers were called to Fair Oaks Park around 9:46 a.m. after receiving a 911 call about a dead person in the wooded area park of February 18th. They said that police said witnesses reported seeing him enter the wooded area alone on Valentine's Day around 4:28 p.m. Detectives found no evidence indicating that anyone else was involved. And I'm trying to refresh it here. So the family, he was 21 year old. And in the family, they're just saying, listen, we appreciate all the talk about, our family member here, but we just want to focus on the good and all of that. That's what the family's saying. And the reason why they're saying that is because online there's a lot of talk right now where they are saying that black folks are concluding that the Klan was behind this. They don't have any evidence, but their conclusion is that the Klan was behind this. Now, as someone who lived many years in Cobb County, I moved to Cobb County in 95, I think it was. And we stayed in there to the early 2000s or so. I got married there, bought a house there, had my first business there. And so I know quite a bit about Cobb County and that whole area. That was during the time that you had numbers of Cobb County, especially black folks were coming into Atlanta in droves. So Cobb County ain't Cobb County in 1942. Cobb County, there's a lot of black folks, and not just Cobb County, all in Atlanta. Black folks are everywhere in Atlanta. So this whole notion that somehow the Klan somehow needled their way through all of these black folks to lynch this man is highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely. They already saying that witnesses said that he went into the park by himself. This ties into yet another recent story that took place. Y'all correct me. Was it in Mississippi or was it in Alabama? I think it was in Mississippi. More recent story of the young black man that they found hanging at the college campus down in one of those states on a college campus. And people all over online were saying that the Klan did it, white people did it, and I'm just so mad I can just spit and all of this stuff. I'm gonna beat up white people and all of this other stuff. And that tied into another story that we talked about. Same thing. I talked about a whole bunch of stories where these young black men are found hanging. And it's very easy to jump to conclusions about the Klan and all of this other stuff, and it's racists that are doing this. But the evidence always comes out that there is no evidence of that. That many of these cases here, these men, and just about, I would say all of these cases, when you start finding out the details, they committed the act of eliminating themselves because of something called depression. And what I am done with, at least on this platform, and that's why we're strong advocates of this, is that I'm done with this whole notion that somehow that there's this belief that there's a textbook rule on how black people are supposed to handle depression. When you are in a serious depressed state, there's all kind of things that goes through your mind. There's all kind of things. And what I am seeing now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound very dark and it's going to sound twisted, but I am just going to be one of those that's just going to say it. What I see happening is a lot, and I've actually looked into this a little bit. There are people who actually premeditate the way they want to take themselves out, and they see that, okay, if I take myself out this way, then I know that when I'm gone, a lot of people will be talking about me. That is a real phenomenon. I'm not making that up. Now, for you hearing that, that may sound kind of crazy and weird, and who would even think that way? But when you are in severe depression, these are the kind of things that go through your mind. And what I am seeing is this is actually turning into a trend, especially amongst black men who are dealing with severe depression. That they have gotten to that level where they will play on these real events that took place in Black American history and continue it as a way of trying to get post-mortem sympathy. But what you're doing, even in death, you're bringing in more confusion because you were confused. That's for some people, that's going to take a little bit of time to process that. But what I'm telling you is, I'm a man, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing this keeps playing out over and over again. So for people to think that black men don't do this kind of stuff, it's being proven over and over again that, yeah, they do. You know what I mean? This is just one of many ways. There are people who do take themselves out literally all the time. They do. You just don't hear about it. People do this stuff all the time. And so what I'm saying is it's very important for us to listen to our family members, pay close attention to them, things they're saying, you know, people that you're close to, I'll say. And make sure that you just, you know, you're a listening ear, you're a loving shoulder or whatever it is, and make sure you're paying very close attention, especially to a lot of these men that are out here. Because I am telling you, that is the next step. We are here. Y'all just take my word for it. Because you go from the abuse cycle, then the system is telling you, let it all out by being somebody you're not. Be a trans man or trans woman, be a gay man or whatever. And then when that's not enough, then they turn to drugs. And then when that's not enough, then you turn to doing stuff like this. It's usually a pattern. And it may not follow that direct pattern that I just gave you, but people don't just wake up one morning and decide to do that kind of stuff. There's usually a long trail, if you would have paid close attention, of signs and flags and red flags letting you know, hey, you know, I'm here, you know, I need help. And people don't pay attention. And so now the space is crowded with all of this noise where everybody's pivoting to it's racism. So you got a lot of people gassed up about that. But when you want to have a conversation where you're really delving in and talking about, let's get into this depression stuff. Let's deal with that because this is a growing issue right now. Nobody wants to have that conversation.